So there are some things in life that we can't change. There are things that just worry us, things that just bother us. On Friday, we had a wonderful church outing. A coach, even fuller than the coach that they'd provided, not our fault, their fault. And we had a great time at Weston-super-Mare. We saw the sea for a little while. We saw the beach. We saw lots of mud. We had ice creams and chips and all of that kind of thing. And it was really good. And so me and Isabel and Tatenda, we drove down in the car. And we were doing fine. And then we got to that bit when if you ever go down there near Bristol, when there's just guaranteed traffic jam. And so we were in this enormous queue, and it took quite a long time to get through all the way down there. So we're stuck in the traffic, and knowing that the coach was behind us. And I felt responsible for all the people on the coach, because I was the one that had said, let's go on Friday. I was the one that said, let's go to Weston-super-Mare. I was the one encouraging people to come along. I was the one in my own car. And I was thinking, how is it on the coach? Is the air conditioning working? I was worrying about this. People were stuck in the traffic. By the time we get there, it'll be time to go home. And I had to get a firm grip on myself, because there was nowhere else I could go. I was stuck in the traffic too. I could go on a little tour around Bristol and the whole of Somerset and get there later than everybody else. But I chose not to do that. I was stuck. I had very few options. And I needed just to stop worrying about what was happening with the people. And I think by and large things were okay on the coach. I think people told me that afterwards. They were probably just being polite. But there are so many times when we worry about a situation and it's not really anything else that we can do about it. We're stuck with that situation. And those times, we need to take those times to Jesus. We need to take those times to Him in prayer, to cast our burdens. So, rather than getting all uptight and worrying about everything, which we all do, which I do, we need to pray about those things. We need to pray. And so many times, I've been in situations where I've been really concerned about it, probably most weeks, every week, probably every day. I have situations where I'm worrying about it. And actually, most of the time, well, one way or another, something happens where it kind of works out. Okay, or okay in the end, or just differently from how I thought it might work out. So what we have to do, and what I have to do, including me in the we, is that we need to trust. Yeah, we need to trust that it tells us in the Bible that He wants the best for us, that all things work for good for those who trust in Him. So we need to trust in Him and to know that He will bring us that peace. It tells us in Philippians in chapter 4, where Paul is writing to the people in the church in Philippi, just ordinary warriors like us, and tells them that they shouldn't be worrying because the Lord is near, telling them first of all that Jesus is near at hand, and that also what they need to do is to pray about these things. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the situation will be instantly sorted out, but God will give you peace, will give us peace of mind. And one of the things that He tells us that we should do is to concentrate on good things in our heads rather than just worrying about all the bad things. Which is why Jesus here, in what He's saying, is saying about consider the lilies, consider the birds. So look at all those things that God has created, which God takes care of them, and yet we're far, far more special because we're made in His image. We're far, far more special than them. And He will look after us. So we need to give it to God. We need to pray. We need to seek that peace and trust and focus on good things, on birds, on lilies, on just the things in our head that work for us. And God will see us right. God knows what we need, and God will make the best for us. And as we do that, hopefully, we will move from a state of being really worried and anxious to rediscovering some of that joy that God has set in our hearts. Going to have a reminder about that now. We're going to sing a song, and as we sing that song, we're going to take up our offering.